Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of the Functional Longevity Podcast, where we give you insight on how to get fit, feel younger, live better. I'm your host, Chris Border, best-selling author and owner of Y.E.S Fitness. And let me first thank you for taking time from your busy day to listen to what I have to say. Before we get started, let me also thank our sponsor, Y.E.S Fitness. Most people lose the ability to enjoy life as they age. At Y.E.S Fitness, we help people age 40 plus get fit so they can live longer and enjoy those extra years doing the things they love to do. A quick housekeeping here. If you want to get a timestamp or a transcript of today's broadcast, head on over to yesfitnessct.com. You'll see a button on top that says podcast. Click on that and it'll give you access to any of our now 348 episodes. You can also get this broadcast wherever podcasts can be found. Boost your longevity with PartiQular supplements. On the Functional Longevity Podcast, I've shared the importance of finding reliable supplements to support healthy aging. After searching for a reputable company I could trust, I finally found PartiQular, a U.S.-based brand that delivers on quality, science, and integrity. PartiQular offers a wide range of premium supplements, including NNM for cellular energy and aging support, resveratrol, we've all heard of that, to enhance heart health and brain health, and berberine for blood sugar balance and metabolism, and more, all crafted with care right here in the USA. I've been taking these products personally, and I've noticed a real improvement in things like my energy, my focus, my overall vitality. So if you're ready to invest in your health, visit PartiQular.com. That's PartiQlar.com, and use the code YES15 at checkout to get 15% off your first order. Your health deserves the best. Start your journey with PartiQular today. Unlock vitality with the truths and myths of longevity nutrition. Today, we're exploring one of the most hotly debated, deeply personal, and dangerously misunderstood topics in the world of aging well: nutrition for longevity. There's a lot of noise out there. Celebrities pushing trendy diets, influencers demonizing carbs, and supplement companies promising eternal youth in a pill. But what does the actual science say? And we've discussed many of these topics before. We kind of put it all into one episode here. To separate the fads from the facts, we'll put insights from three of the most respected minds in longevity, guys that I trust and I follow all the time. That's Dr. Walter Longo, Dr. David Sinclair, and Dr. Peter Attia. And there's more, but we just pulled out those three for today's episode. But we're not just naming dropping here. We're just not going to name drop. We're backing it all with published research, real world results, and strategies you can apply today. So whether you're cooking, walking, or driving, settle in. Let's talk food, aging, and how to eat for a longer, stronger life. Excuse me. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is a myth that protein accelerates aging. We're going to kick it off with one of the most persistent longevity myths. High protein diets speed up aging. And I thought this for a while, and I've since changed my mind. This myth comes from the idea that eating more protein activates cellular growth pathways called mTOR, which some researchers, especially Dr. Walter Longo, associated with accelerated aging and cancer risks. mTOR, if you're not familiar with what it is a cellular signaling pathway that acts like a master growth regulator, controlling how your body builds muscle, stores energy, and responds to nutrients. It's essential for tissue repair and adaptation to exercise. But when chronically activated, may accelerate aging and disease. Chronic activation of mTOR, especially from consistently high protein intake, insulin spikes, or lack of fasting, can accelerate aging by promoting excessive cell growth, reducing autophagy, your body's natural cleanup and repair process, and increasing inflammation. This creates a cellular environment that favors the development of age-related diseases like cancer, type 2 diabetes, and neurodegenerative disorders. So back in 2014, Dr. Longo published a paper in Cell Metabolism, concluded that adults aged 50 to 65 with high animal protein intakes had a 75% increase in overall mortality and a fourfold increase in cancer death risk compared to those who ate less protein. But here's the kicker. In adults over age 65, the trend is reversed. High protein intake actually reduced mortality. Why? Because protein protects against sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. According to Dr. Attia, he calls our sarcopenia a leading indicator of death. And he doesn't just say that because it sounds dramatic. It's backed by evidence. In 2020, a meta-analysis in Age, Clinical, and Experimental Research found that sarcopenia doubles the risk of all-cause mortality. So while Longo and Sinclair emphasize the dangers of too much mTOR, Attia stresses a little nuance viewed here. Inhibit it in early life, yes. So inhibit mTOR in early life, but in midlife and beyond, you need to preserve muscle because that's what's important. Lift some weights. So what's our best practice here? Aim for 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. If you're strength training or over age 50. And this information is backed by some research in the British Journal of Sports Medicine back in 2018. And in this paper, they confirmed that protein in that range maximizes muscle synthesis, especially in older adults. So bottom line here, don't fear protein. Respect its context. Myth number 2 we're going to talk about here is fasting is a magic bullet for longevity. You've all seen the headlines, fasting activates autophagy, and we've talked about it here on the podcast. In eating less, live longer. Intermittent fasting cures everything. Well, not so fast here. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Dr. Longo's research on the fasting mimicking diet, the FMD, is impressive. In mice, periodic 5-day FMD cycles reduce visceral fat, improve cognition, and even reversed immune cell aging. This was published back in Cell Metabolism in 2015. But let's be honest here, mice aren't people, so what about in humans? In a randomized controlled trial published in Science Translational Medicine back in 2017, Longo's team showed that 3 FMD cycles in humans improved fasting glucose, reduced IGF-1, and lowered blood pressure. So yes, fasting can be powerful. But on the flip side, Dr. Attia warns of the dark side. Excessive fasting in lean or older adults can trigger muscle loss. In fact, in 2020, a study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that extended fasting lowers muscle protein synthesis, especially in people over age 60. So while Sinclair and Longo encourage fasting to enhance autophagy, again, your body's internal cleanup process, Dr. Attia always comes back with this. Don't sacrifice muscle in the name of metabolic health. Muscle is metabolic health. And we know that if we want to be able to function as we age, we want to make sure that we have that muscle. So what's our best practice here? So for most people, 12 to 14 hours of overnight fasting is enough to support insulin sensitivity, promote autophagy, and avoid muscle breakdown. If you're lean or strength training, be cautious with prolonged fasting. Keep your eye on that. We're talking about longevity here. We're not talking about intermittent fasting for weight loss or anything like that. We're strictly talking about longevity here. So let's take a look at another thing that's a huge myth. It's all carbs are bad for longevity. You've heard it. Carbs spikes insulin. Insulin ages you. Thus, carbs equal aging. But it's not that simple. Yes, refined carbohydrates like soda, pastries, and ultra-processed snack foods absolutely drive chronic disease. In fact, in 2019, a study in JAMA Internal Medicine found that high intake of ultra-processed foods was associated with higher all-cause mortality. But whole food carbohydrates, like legumes, fruits, vegetables, those are linked to better longevity. A major 2020 meta-analysis in Lancet involving over 135 million persons, 135 million people, years, found that diet high in dietary fiber and whole grains reduce the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and colorectal cancer. Even Longo, who favors a low protein, Mediterranean style diet, includes legumes, complex carbs in his protocol. Dr. T puts it this way: carbohydrate tolerance is specific to the person, the context, and the activity level. So what would be our best practice here when it comes to carbohydrates? Eliminate refined carbs and added sugars. Prioritize fiber-rich sources: beans, berries, greens, sweet potatoes. Let's time our carbohydrates around physical activity to enhance glucose uptake. We like to have our carbohydrates in our nutrition plan post-workout. When you're done working out, let's enhance that glucose uptake. So number 4, fat makes you fat and ages you. Remember when fat was the villain? Yeah. That myth still lingers out there around some corners all over the place. But in the world of longevity research, fats, especially omega-3s and monosaturated fats, are anti-inflammatory allies. Peter Thier highlights that low omega-3 levels are associated with higher all-cause mortality. And we got a study in 2021 in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people with higher blood levels of EPA and DHA lived on average 4.7 years longer than those with the lowest levels. Now, Longo and Sinclair also endorse healthy fats, particularly from plant-based sources and fish. So what would we say our best practices are here? We want to eat fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, 2 to 3 times a week. We need to supplement with 1 to 2 grams of EPA, DHA if you don't eat fish. Cook with extra virgin olive oil. Avoid excessive omega-6 fats from vegetable oils. Now, myth number 5 is one that's I think most people may know about by now, but if not, that red wine extends life. And this one really needs to be put to bed. Yes, the French paradox got a lot of attention. Yes, resveratrol found in red wine activates sirtuins, which are linked to longevity. And that's part of Dr. Sinclair's core research. But here's the reality. You have to drink 500 liters of wine a day to get the therapeutic dose of resveratrol. And more importantly, alcohol is a toxin. It damages DNA, impairs sleep, increases cancer risk, and raises all-cause mortality. A comprehensive review in the Lancet 2018 concluded the safest levels of alcohol consumption is none. So what's our best practice? Limit. Keep it under 7 servings a week. Spread it out over the week, not 7 servings in one day. And always just remember, less is better. And 6, and I do talk about supplements a lot, but you can supplement your way to longevity. Peter Thier is clear. Supplements support. That's why it's called supplements. They support, they don't replace good nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress management. With that said, here are a few things that are backed by science. We've talked about creatine recently. It enhances muscle, brain function, and may support cognitive health in aging. That was in some research in Neurophysiology Review in 2021. Magnesium supports muscle, sleep, and insulin function. Vitamin D, low levels are linked to higher mortality. Omega-3s, we've already talked about. Let's get them in. And what about Sinclair's famous anti-aging stack, the NAD boosters like NR and NMN? There is promising preclinical data here. That's why I get mine from PartiQular. But human trials are limited and inconsistent. Stay skeptical, stay curious, and don't expect miracles. So my final thoughts here. Food is information, not just fuel. All three experts, Longo, Sinclair, and Attia, agree on this one truth. Every bite you take sends a signal to your body to build, to repair, to inflame, to heal. Food isn't just a calorie. It's a hormonal signal, a metabolic cue, a message to your cells. So eat with intention. So let's just wrap it up and summarize this. The best practices of nutrition that support real longevity. Simple things. Protein is essential, especially after age 50. Don't undereat it. Fasting works, but contacts matter. Protect your muscles. As always, ditch the refined carbs, but don't fear smart carbs. Prioritize healthy fats, especially omega-3s. Limit your alcohol. It's not the anti-aging elixir it's marketed as. Use supplements wisely, but don't depend on them. And above all, always consistency wins. You don't need the perfect diet. You need a smart, sustainable, science-backed one that supports, your health span, not just lifespan. So that's it for today's look into longevity for nutrition for longevity. In this episode, I hope it cleared up some confusion or confirmed what you've been doing. Share it with a friend who wants to live better longer. If you already apply these strategies on your own, life will, with expert guidance, come see me at Y.E.S Fitness in Burlington. We'll help you move better, eat better, build your body that lasts. So until next time, stay strong, stay smart. And remember, you're not just eating for today, you're eating for the next 30 years. So I'll see you next time with more information on how to get fit, feel younger, live better. Thanks for watching.